Happy New Year, everybody. Just getting everybody logged on. Happy New Year. Let me see if I can get my phone where it's supposed to be. We'll get everybody logged on here. Hello, everybody. Can somebody hear me? Just let me know you can hear me. We're good.
Yes.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Hello, everybody. So I wanted to do a special Wednesday today. My phone holder is not going to work with my charger. So I get to hold my phone today. Lucky me. So just wanted to log on today so that we could all say goodbye to 2024. We've been raked over the trenches in 2024. We've been blindsided by new laws, and it just keeps coming at us. I put something together. I don't know why my what do they call that when your transition lenses, mine are not transitioning. So I will take them off for a brief moment. I think I figured out what our government is trying to do as far as the housing issue. You know, there's something about feeding me a Red Bull and locking me in a closet. It makes my brain go in weird ways. So I did something worse. I drank a Red Bull and got in the car. People are like, Patty, you drank a Red Bull and got in the car? Yeah, I went to the airport to pick up my kids. People laugh and say, oh, 3 hours isn't long. That's not bad, Patty. 3 hours at the airport isn't bad at all. I was in Ontario, not LAX. So I drank a Red Bull and got in that ridiculous line to pick your family up. You know what I'm talking about. And I started thinking to myself, they're demanding more affordable housing. They're screaming about affordable housing, and how come we don't have any more affordable housing? In the meantime, we can't rent our vacants. We have vacancies sitting for longer than they should be. We're being challenged on how we can get those filled as quickly as possible. We have programs breathing down our necks, trying to place these people into our properties. Note to self, and you guys write this down verbatim, it's on my new revised criteria. You guys know how you hate dealing with those third-party programs that move in, and I'm not talking about Section 8, and I am not talking about VASH, okay? I am talking about Brilliant Corners and those other programs that say, we're a third-party program. And then you get tangled into that web and try to get that ball rolling. Everybody paying attention? Third-party funds will be accepted for move-in only for federally funded programs. Wait, Patty, what'd you just say? Can you rewind that? Do it one more time. Make sure it's on your criteria, guys. Move-in funds will be accepted, third-party move-in funds will be accepted from federally funded programs only. Oh, there's another way to write it. What does this mean, Patty? It means we accept Section 8 and VASH because we're required to by law, but we're not required to participate in all these other programs that are coming down our throats. Okay, remember that. Don't forget it. Third-party payments are accepted for move-in funds for only federally funded programs. Why does Patty keep saying it that way? Because that's what you're required to do by law. Kind of want to keep it legal, right? The programs are causing other issues. These programs are also tied in with tenant advocate groups, fair housing, and believe it or not, BOSTA attorneys. Patty, how are you finding all this out? Remember all those pieces I grabbed during the year and be like, guess what they're doing now? The enemy is teaching the tenants how to request a trial by jury, and they're still checking the box that they don't have any legal counsel representing them because they don't. Until that answer gets filed, and then the court takes BOSTA's address as the tenant's address and notifies them when trial's going to be. They then sub into the case, and they're now the attorney of record. They've done none of the work, but they're going to get a third of the money. I got a feeling we're going to see more and more government incentives for those of us landlords that decide to make our buildings tax credit, low income housing, or something of the like. Because you can't sit there and tell us that there's a housing crisis, because there's not. We have vacant units. We have a bunch of them. Corporate America is running at a 10% vacancy right now, 10 to 15% vacancy rate. We're going to start seeing move-in incentives. You're seeing them already, but you're not realizing them. People are not removing their base rent. They're not coming down in their rent price. They're doing is offering a month rent free. And financially, that doesn't make sense in the long run of things, okay? Look at it this way. If you're giving them a month free and they live there for a year, you're going to have to give them a month free and pay them a month rent to move out. Wait, what? What? Huh? Huh? Giving away a free month's rent doesn't work right now. And we're seeing this in the Burbank area. We're seeing this in high dollar neighborhoods. Okay? We're seeing 6-month contract gives you the 6 month of rent for free. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot more weird things come about in 2025 as far as government incentives trying to get landlords to turn their properties into low income housing or tax credit properties. That's what I think. I think there's going to be a big divide.
Hey, Patty.
Yes.
This is Anthony. How are we doing? How are we doing? Was your Christmas good? I hope.
Hey, I'm still breathing.
So listen, Brilliant Corners. I deal a lot with, and you know that with the vets and stuff like that. And Brilliant Corners has over 7 different organizations, from battered women to the vets. You can pick and choose. You got to be careful. Even though they say, "Hey, this guy is good," I recommend people to run their own checks on them, because they just throw people in there. What they do is give a landlord incentive. It's a landlord incentive. So if you're $1,400 a month, they'll pay you a landlord incentive, which doesn't go back to the tenant or anything. So they'll pay you a total of 1,400 times 3, which the tenant only gets back when they move out, whatever the security deposit is done after a check. Just to let you know, Brilliant Corners does a landlord incentive. You got to be careful in the way it's worded, and you put it in your contract. Because Scott, we put it in differently, but it's called a landlord incentive. That's what it's called.
Okay, no problem. I know some Section 8 programs offer a landlord incentive also. So even if you sign your program up with some of the housing authorities, they'll give you a rebate. So there's a lot of that going on, trying to encourage that kind of stuff. Just remember one thing, you guys are forced to accept federally funded programs, period, end of report. For the little mom and pops and programs like Brilliant Corners, please be very cautious and careful. For a bigger management company such as Anthony's speaking about, that works well for them, but they're vetting their tenants differently. So not only are they dealing with the program, they're still running their own show, doing their own rules, running their own program. So it's working for them. They found a niche in there that works for them. For a lot of the little mom and pops that are managing their own property, a program like that doesn't always work. Sometimes the people that they're placing in the property aren't mentally stable to live on their
Correct.
own. And
Yeah.
I'll use, and thank you, Anthony, for
No, no,
backing
but
me
hold
up
on. Just,
here.
yeah, yeah. No, no, I will. No, no, please.
Okay.
Because if you don't vet them, I'm going to say if you don't vet them,
you're gonna
maybe
you're gonna
you're
get the
going to,
cream of the crap.
oh, yo, yeah, you're going to get,
The cream of the crap.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So for the little companies that don't, be careful. I
The mom and
totally,
pops,
the
yeah.
mom and pops, please be careful because you might get somebody in there. If he doesn't take his pills, he wants to kill everybody on the property. And I've had it come across where you put him in and then you're ending up evicting him later. And a lot of times you'll use that organization like Brilliant Corners will come in and get them in. And then all of a sudden they're now transferred to that Section 8 program or whatever. So you got to do your diligence. Yes, it sounds great. Oh, I'm getting an extra $1,400 or whatever it is, but you might have to evict them down the line. So
Yeah. At
they,
what
they pretty
extent?
much handed them off.
Right. I had, and not to bash
Thank
programs.
you.
Thank you, Anthony, for clarifying. Not to bash any programs, but just so you guys understand. I worked in a law firm, remember? Don't forget that. So everybody's calling me with their problems. Hey, Patty, we need to do an eviction. I got another tenant from Brilliant Corners that went knocking on neighboring doors with a 12-inch butcher knife at 2 a.m. That's what I mean by some of them have mental issues and shouldn't be living on their own. They should be in a mental facility. But mental facilities are closing too, right? Because of COVID, a lot of that stuff just went to the wayside, right? Where are those people? I'm asking you, not telling you. Oh, that's a good question, Patty. I didn't think about that. Ooh,
On the streets.
right. Or in their program. Oh, oh, is that how that works? Yeah, that's how that works. These programs are to prevent homelessness. Ah, Section 8's different. One's on a different level. It's federally funded. So is VASH, federally funded. Different set of facts, okay? Mom and pops, please be careful from these programs. You guys all remember that fair housing thing that we had where, and we talked about this, it's only been about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So keep it fresh in your memory, where the tenant applied and there was a gate and landlord said, "We'll remove the gate. That way you don't think it's fenced." And tenant said, "It must stay. My kids are disabled. I got to have that gate there." Gate's still in place today, but there's a fair housing battle going on. That was from a program. Oh, but wait, I didn't tell you the rest of it. The city has now also come after the owner for an unpermitted addition. Now the snowball starts, is what I'm trying to say. For what? All because she couldn't come up with the money to move in. And now this owner and this property manager are jumping through hoops for what? Chasing a ghost? This person's evil and vindictive and is coming back at them in every way they could imagine. I don't know. Come on, 2025. I'm done with 2024. But I got a feeling we're going to see more government subsidiaries and more rebates coming back to people that are offering affordable housing, low income housing, and things along those lines. We're going to see more incentives come about so that these people all find housing. I like my idea the best. I think my idea is amazing. It'll never come into fruition because it makes too much sense. I say take the abandoned shopping malls, turn them into homeless encampments, and rehabilitate them right there. Lock them up. Let's house them. Let's take care of them. Let's work, release, rehabilitate, set them free, and then send the bill to the state that shipped them here to begin with. Hey, all those anchor stores would make great drug rehab centers, mental facilities, and all those little stores would make great housing. I mean, there's already a food court. All we really need to add is showers. Sorry. Widget's mind. So I had this epiphany that what I see is that they're looking for more affordable housing. They're trying to grab onto more affordable housing. Why, corporate America is sitting there with a 10% vacancy rate. On a 300 unit apartment community, you figure out how many doors are sitting there vacant. What's actually happening and what they're talking about don't match. They're screaming for affordable housing while we have housing sitting there that's not being rented. Affordable to who? Homeless? How much is that worth a month? Trying to behave myself and keep politics out of it. But it's very scary what's going on when you really stand back and look at the big picture and take yourself out of the equation. For those of us that are getting sucked into a legal battle, I still say try to settle it, get away from it. Don't go down that road right now. It's not a pretty place to be. As some of you may know, and some of you are learning, in the event you find yourself bumping into a brick wall in another aspect that isn't involving real estate, and you need some advice or somebody to point you in the right direction, you never know. Ask me. I may have the answer for you. You never know. It doesn't hurt to ask, okay? Somebody recently found that out. Patty's a plethora of knowledge and has a plethora of attorneys' cell phone numbers that I can actually text while you and I are talking and get your answer for you and make sure we're putting you in the right pod. Because sometimes we're in the wrong pod with the wrong people, right? We want to be in the right pod with the right people. So sometimes if you have something weird going on in your life, God knows, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction. Also, you guys don't know this, but you're going to find out. Widget has been doing this for 5 years. 5 years. God, has it been 5 years already? It will be 5 years coming up. So I'm raising my rates. I think I need a raise. Those of you that are already with me aren't going to know this, okay? Because you're locked in at your rate, okay? So you're locked in at your old rate, no problem. If you cancel at any time and come back, you'll come back at the new rate, but you're locked in at your old rate. Widget says it's time for a raise. I think I need one. And that's how that's going to go. So if you have the $15 membership, it goes up to $25. The $50 membership goes up to $75 and so on. But I just wanted to let you guys know I'm trying to be me and it's time for a raise.
Hey, Patty, this is Anthony again. And again, with all your knowledge and you, when we can call you on a beck and call and you answer our phone,
Yes.
we are blessed to have you on our team. And it's been like over 5 years where we met you, where I guess every 2 to 3 years, myself, Scott, and some of the company members have to go to the people who have homes. And you talked there about the homeless and 95% of the homeless. And it's so funny, the people that do make the rules, and I think you said this, the 95% are, and the people who make these rules and govern these rules for the property management stuff like that, or the tenants themselves, they're actually renters. They rent all these $10 million homes out in LA. So they don't know, they don't care. They pay their bills and they pay $10,000 a month like it's nothing. So they support them, and I understand that. But I was just off of Del Rosa in Highland, and the park over there. Well, the city comes in once a month, cleans them up. And I was just at one of the facilities that Meridian Property Group and CityCom manage. Patty, I am 6'1", 225. And lucky I had a couple of my team members there, because me personally, and I'm not as scared of a lot of things, but for a lady or something there just to get out, which we were with one of the property managers there, it's out of control. And San Bernardino County is the biggest county in the United States. And I'm sorry, we are the capital of the United States of the homeless. And it's out of control over there. There was probably just in that parking lot alone, because we're trying to paint the sidewalk, uh, um, and it's impossible. We're around the building. It's impossible. And I'm saying probably out of the 10 units there, there's only a smoke shop that stays open and a liquor store. The rest are just they're leaving because you have 5, 6 homeless people there. So you're correct on the homeless. And you got to be careful, but the cops aren't going to come because, like you said, Ford, be careful who you vote for and pay attention to the laws. And I know you don't want to be political. Well, I will vote for the right things. I'm sorry, because I see this. And the homeless, don't get me wrong, have made me a lot of money this year because they break in and they get a ticket and they get these little Bank of America cards for $200 for breaking into a building. I guess I laugh at it, but it's like a food car, and and they let them go. They don't even arrest them. So we got to be careful of the laws, as a lot of us who are property managers, or a lot of us who have property of ourselves, also got to be careful for the laws and pay attention to Patty and vote for the way she does, because at the end of the day, it's getting out of control. And I wish I could have had the video to what's there, but I got off and it was like just at 10 o'clock. And I was like, wow. I was like looking around myself constantly because they're just homeless walking right by you and stuff. And like I told you, I think I told you, Patty, this year off the line, 3 of our guys have got stabbed just for, throwing away homeless stuff. So be careful. And they were gardeners and stuff like that. Nothing big, it was a knife or whatever, not a big knife, but it's still, you don't know what dope
It
it's got on.
doesn't matter what they have. If they're coming at you, they're coming at you. It's already too late.
Yeah, and just keep your head on a swivel when you're around at your properties or whatever, if it's a commercial building. But please, guys, it's out of control right now in San Bernardino County. And I was just there, and I constantly get there from Pomona to wherever. Just be careful. But like I said,
propositions that are
the propositions. Please listen to
Vote,
Patty.
yeah,
Vote correctly.
the propositions, because they're misleading. Yeah.
They're very misleading. Why? Because they want to bait and switch you. Let me give you guys a great example of something being
Thank you, Patty.
misleading. Okay. And voting. Okay. One year, voting happened, whatever. I went to the grocery store and the lady asked me, "Do you want bags?" And I said, "Of course I want bags. I'm not going to walk out of here with a cart full of stuff just rolling around in my trunk." And she's all, "Okay, they're 10 cents each." What? What do you mean they're 10 cents each? Well, didn't you vote to work harder for the environment and make the environment a better place? And I said, "Yeah, I saw that on the ballot, to make the environment better, work better at the environment, you know, clean things up." I didn't think that meant I had to pay 10 cents for a bag. And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, who gets the 10 cents?" She goes, "The store does." And I said, wait a minute. How does this help? How does me paying 10 cents for a bag help the environment? Educate me. I'd like to know. And she says, "Sweetheart, if you pay 10 cents for it, you're less likely to throw it in a river." I looked at this woman at the grocery store and I said, "Honey, I hate to tell you this, but we throw entire cars in the river. A bag isn't going to slow us down." Sorry, you guys all pay 10 cents for a grocery bag now because of me.
Yeah.
But that's how tricky it is. Okay. We all voted to save the environment. Now look at all of us are paying 10 cents for a grocery bag. And who gets that money? The grocery store. How does that help the environment? It doesn't. Some politician high off of marijuana made that law because it makes no sense. Where's the money go? But if you pay for it, you won't throw it in a creek. Bullshit. We throw cars in a creek. Politics. You really do need to be very careful how you're voting. I was ecstatic when we won on 33 and 34. I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, hey, I didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. So we can't lose hope. Okay? We can't lose hope, you guys. The things that we go through sometimes are treacherous. Some of these new laws they're throwing at us are ridiculous. 2025 change from $500 to $1,000 for a repair without a permit or a licensed contractor. Absolutely, that change takes effect January 1. So those of us that have a gardener that or a handyman or anything like that that can't do any work over $500, that dollar amount changed to $1,000 on January 1st, 2025. Okay? That's a good one. That helps us. That helps us a lot. Doesn't help us completely, but it helps us. And we got a few more that help us. Okay. Some of the big ones I can tell you guys, if you have something in your rental contract that says a tenant's going to be charged for serving a notice, that is illegal starting January 1st, both in residential and commercial. Okay, so you can't charge tenants for serving notices anymore. And if that verbiage is in your lease contract and you can't get it out, it's okay. Just don't charge them. That's where you're going to get in big trouble. Don't charge them. Okay? Don't charge them. So you can't charge them for serving notices. That's one of our other big laws that we need to watch out for. We may see eviction trials running faster when tenants throw those stupid BS stalling tactics at us. What do I mean by that? I'm gonna paint a picture, and you guys are gonna go, okay, I understand. You're doing an eviction, and the tenant files a motion to quash. Okay. Motion to quash. You never served me. I haven't been served. I'm filing a motion to quash. In the past, those frivolous stalling tactics, motion to quash, demur, those ex parte hearings, okay? You playing along? They would set a date for that ex parte hearing that would be 45 days from now. And you'd sit there and go, damn, I got to wait 45 days for this hearing. And your attorney would say, no. We can advance the motion. We can ask the court to advance the motion and have it heard next week instead of waiting 45 days, right? Costs you money to do that, right? Right? Everybody following? No more. Starting January 1, rules change. I like this one, so stick with me. Tenant files a demur, a motion to quash. That hearing will be heard in 5 to 7 days. No more 45 days out. You know those stupid stuff they do to buy time? Doesn't buy time anymore. This may make a change in the eviction process, okay? What it's going to do, I don't know. I'm not that smart. Because I need to sit and talk to an attorney now and find out, okay, did that cut off a huge part of your income because they were charging you to advance those motions? $500? Sound familiar? Nobody's going to say anything? Okay. Advancing a motion is expensive. It costs you about $500 and takes about 45 and you get it heard the following week. The court has now changed those rules that is going to be heard the following week. We don't wait 45 days anymore. We may see this expedite us getting to the mandatory settlement conference faster. Because if a stalling
Hey, Patty, you said
7 days instead of 45, they're less likely to do it. Make sense? And I heard somebody say something, so I'll wait. Come back on.
Hey, Patty, as a general contractor, I didn't even know that handyman fees you said went up 1,000. That means they could make 500, and then 500 for materials. Am I correct? Not.
Yes.
You said 1,000.
The maximum invoice for a handyman cannot exceed $1,000 starting January 1st.
Cannot exceed.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Labor
I
and
thought,
materials.
because if I was correct, so it went up because what I'm trying to get at is a handyman who's not licensed, bonded, or insured was only up to 500. That was labor and material.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
still
gone up.
is.
That is
Still
changed
is.
to $1,000 on January 1st, correct, Arlene?
Yeah, for both. Total.
Labor and
Okay, so
materials.
Labor and materials, 1,000.
Okay, so now it's 1,000. Let me explain something to you. As you guys look at the neighborhood watch and stuff like that, I'm seeing almost 50% of people getting burned by handyman. So be careful. Your handyman can still be licensed, insured, and have a insurance on him when you hire him. And please be careful. I'm just seeing a lot of people getting burned out there. And Patty, you probably see what's going on. And how can you sue someone? Because it's your, how do I say, your negligence for not checking on him, or his prior work, because there's a lot of people getting burned out there. As far as the handyman, okay, this job is going to charge $400. Let me have $200 up front to go get materials, and he never comes back. So you got to be careful out there with using handyman. Now, I know as of the last 2 years, a handyman can get a license now. He can't build a home, but he could do handyman work. So there is a license for a handyman now, because I have a couple guys that are actually getting their handyman license. The only thing is they can do pretty much a lot of stuff for the house, but they can't build a house. So food for thought out there. But be careful and do your due diligence out there, because
And
I see a lot of
make
clients
sure
getting burnt where I have to come back and fix them.
Where are they getting that license from? State?
The yes, it's a handyman license. They can get it. It's not as like I can build a house. I'm a general contractor. I can build my
it's
house.
not as
I can do everything.
elaborate or
I'm a general.
expensive.
Correct. They can go get one. It's good for
Huh.
them. They could do more work,
Arlene,
but it's at
Arlene,
the end of the
Yeah,
it's the difference between a sales agent and a broker.
gotcha. Okay.
Hmm.
And where are they
Sorry,
getting
nice
Patty
this
call on that one.
insurance? Is this
I like
is
that
this
analogy.
liability?
Patty is best with analogies. Come on, you guys, say it simple. And I'm going to
I
tell
love
you,
it.
if it's a handyman, a general contractor, your gardener, I don't care who it is. I want them listed as additional insured or interested party. I want to be on their insurance so that if they make a mistake, I can go after their insurance company. Because you're right, I can't go after them. There's no blood in a turnip.
As a landlord, huh?
What kind
Yeah.
of insurance are they carrying? Liability or
I
workers'
They
want,
comp?
have
Or
yes.
what
They
are they
have
carrying?
bingo. Go, Anthony. What are they carrying?
they have to be insurance, and they have to have liability. And if they have to have liability. But if they are a company, then that means all their employees you better have a liability on all their employees. So they have to be a company, unless they're using subcontractors, and their subcontractors better be insurance bonded. So with us, we're licensed bonded insurance, and my electricians are licensed bonded insurance. My landscapers are licensed bonded insurance, to make sure of, for example, we have a lady that they were painting her house and doing some landscaping work and stuff. Like a year later, one of the guys who was an employee on the job came and suing the lady because apparently a limb got him in the eye and he can't see. He was working for the company that went out of business. Now they're suing her, and they're in court right now.
You got to
So,
make sure
and I didn't even know the guy, but
yeah.
yeah.
You got to protect your asset in every way you can imagine. So for management companies, I tell them you need to be listed as additional insured on your owner's policies, on your vendor's policies, and on your tenant's policies. Who did I miss? Owners, vendors, tenants. Huh. The only people that would have policies that I still interact with are my own employees. So, tenants, I'm listed as additional insured on their insurance policy. Why? Because if they don't make their payment and their policy is going to be canceled, I get notified. Oh, easy, right?
And
Go ahead.
final thought, Patty, also too, final thought. Now, if you're selling a home, and for your agents out there, if the client is doing work to repairs and stuff like that within the last, I think, 3 years of the property, what now comes up on when you're doing your listing, it'll come out, what work have you done, blah, blah, to the property. Then all of a sudden it comes out, who did the work?
Yep.
And it'll say, who did you pull permits? Did it need permits? Who was the contractor who did the job? So you got to be careful, because painting, no, flooring, no. But if it starts doing electrical and stuff you've done, because they want you to itemize it and what contractor did the job. You're going to list a handyman. So that means you're going to be liable unless you do owner improvement. So that's just my final things. You're
But
awesome. I'll stop talking now.
it's okay. The way that things are being structured is going to demand accountability on us. Got it? So now if I change a water heater, okay, why I live in my house, and then I decide I'm going to sell the house, what Anthony's saying is I now have to disclose in the sales contract who did the work there and if they were licensed or not. I got to tell on myself. They're doing that in the purchase, in the sales purchase, okay? So that's where they're catching that. Some of these municipalities, and I'm going to use one out there as a great example, City of Santa Ana in Orange County has rent control now. They've set up a little place kind of like Larso, okay? But it's in City of Santa Ana in Orange County. And ready for this? They want a complete copy of all written communication between the landlord and the tenant from inception to date. What did Patty just say? They want all your written records now. Why? So they can use them against us later? And what Anthony's talking about are the tenants making the rules. I can give you a great example with the city of Pasadena. The city of Pasadena has enacted their own rental control board. It has board members. They have 10 members. It mimics the state. 80% tenants, 20% owners. So on this board that makes all the rules for the city, there are 8 tenants and 2 landlords. And that's why their relocation fees are now $38,000. It's happening that easy. The enemy's making the rules. Okay? Especially in LA County. Biggest problem we have in San Bernardino County is homelessness. No joke. Homelessness, crime, petty theft, all the stuff that comes with all the homelessness and the stuff that goes on. But we don't have those other issues. Okay? We have a homelessness issue. The whole state does. They don't have these problems in Colorado because it's too damn cold. Oh, is that it? Yeah, you don't see vagrants walking around the streets in New York. They'd freeze to death. I love California. Okay, if you guys haven't watched the new laws, please go back and watch them. They're on my YouTube channel. They are up there now, so you can go back and watch the class about the new laws. We did that on the 18th. Okay, please, I beg you, make sure you know what those new rules are. We have a new protected class in the state of California. It is hairstyle. Hey, goodbye 2024. Let me kick you on my way out the door. All right, anybody have anything that they want to touch on, talk about? I want to make sure I'm answering everybody's questions today because tomorrow is a whole new year. It's a fresh new start. Anybody? Nothing?
More time. Hey, listen, Patty, how about this? Is there any way you can think about, and I think you and I talked about and touched about it personally when we talked a couple times, maybe you can bring in people besides yourself and maybe give in a 4-hour class or an 8-hour class and charge people to come in. I'm sorry, I do that. I do that too when I talk about real estate, flipping homes and stuff like that. Is there any way that you can maybe think of on a date, maybe lunch with Patty or whatever for like 2, 3, 4 hours where people come and just pick your head, tell us the new laws, stuff like that, maybe to, and if you have to charge, you charge. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
I think
knowledge is king.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a legislative update in the Victorville area in the month of February, and then we're doing one in Ontario, I believe, in April.
Okay, good. Just that would be something to actually to have and update ourselves, because I think it'd be very knowledgeable in how to take our notes and have the right people there, because as us as the company, we need the right people there to listen. I know it's not always we can listen
I'm thinking about putting together something similar like this, but instead of doing a lunch and learn and having it be all on company time, I was thinking about doing a dinner with Widget.
Ooh,
Yeah, that would be great.
Way
So
better.
just something like that, we definitely should sign up for, and something to get us there and
Yeah, most
educate
definitely. That
ourselves.
way people can come see what you do, and you can bring your spouse if you like, but I'm more after the dinner with Widget, but I got you.
All
We'll
right,
be
thank
doing
you.
more in-person training classes in 2025, I promise.
Okay,
That's
great, great. And
awesome.
you have a happy New Year's, and everyone else on the line, and good luck.
I'm driving. I'm driving. As soon as we're done today, I'm driving that way.
All right, sounds good.
Drive safe. We appreciate you. Happy New
Oh,
Year.
thank you. Thank
Hi,
you.
Patty. I want to ask you a question, please.
You got it.
Okay, I got from my tenant a letter stating that the Tesla charger is fine, it's working well, but I'm skeptical about this letter because it has no date on the letter when it was written and all this and that, and no receipt, nothing. So
What does the letter say?
the letter stating that that it will no it was done by licensed professional, was checked by licensed professional, and AMP was installed 30, since I have 125 AMPs. So he's stating that it's fine, there will be no damage to the property.
And I would want to speak to the licensed contractor that's going to be doing the work, and I'd want to be listed as additional insured on their insurance policy.
No, it was done already. He did it himself without even me knowing it.
Without landlord consent.
Yes. And I wrote him a letter and he said I'm harassing him. So we wrote him a letter saying it's not harassment. It's just following the, what do you call it? You broke the lease and you should follow the rule of the lease. That's why we wrote you this letter. But I have not heard from him. So I'm asking you, what was this letter? What do I do? Call the contractor and ask him if that he installed it? Do I need to get a receipt from him, or how do I go about it?
What is it that you want to do? Are you wanting to evict the tenant for making these modifications, or do you want to tell them in the future not to do this without talking to you first?
Yes, that's what I want.
Okay, so you're now going to have the attorney write a letter, and I would do it as a cure. What city is this in?
There's Anna. It's a single home. It's under 1482.
And I don't know what the first letter said, because I would want to have the attorney write a letter basically stating you made modifications to the property without written consent of the landlord or even communicating with the landlord that you were going to do this. In the future, you may not materially breach your lease without written consent of the landlord. So basically, you're not going to evict them. You're just going to tell them you're breaking the rules. You can't do that. Don't do that in the future.
Yeah, that's what we wrote to him.
Okay. And if that's the letter, then just leave it at that. Don't do anything else.
Okay, so I shouldn't call the electrician to find out if he installed the receipt from him and all this
Look at it this
information.
way. Look at
Yes,
it this way.
I'm
They made
listening.
modifications to the property without written consent of the landlord. So
Right.
legally, technically, when they vacate, you can change it back and charge them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't suggest doing that. It's a great caveat to have at your property if you have a Tesla charging station. Okay.
Okay.
And if the tenant put that in there at their expense and it was done properly, I'd stay quiet.
Oh, okay.
At least
But
you didn't have to pay for it.
that's true. But my question is, can I go and check if he did it properly or not?
How are you going to know if he did it properly or not?
By sending another electrician.
There you go. Send somebody else to verify. But that's costing you money.
it's $100. I'd rather pay to make sure it's
Okay.
done
And if
properly.
it's okay and everything's legit and everything's fine, just let it go. Don't poke them in the eye.
It
Okay.
should have been,
Way.
Patty, it should have been permitted. She may be able to just go online and see if they've got a final from the city.
Okay, there you go.
And it
Needs a
doesn't cost you anything. Yeah.
Can you repeat that again? What did you say? Sorry, I didn't. Oh, a permit? No, they don't have permit. I checked it.
Then they didn't use a licensed contractor because it requires a permit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Start there.
Okay.
All right.
I will. Thanks.
Thank
and
you,
happy
Arlene.
Thank you, Arlene, too. Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy
To
New
you as
Year.
well.
Thank you.
All right. If anybody have anything else? I don't want to leave anybody hanging.
Patty, when are you going to be around to, I just want to talk to you about rent increases and stuff next week?
No, you can call me right now. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm just going to be driving. I'm fine with
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Haven't you guys figured out that I always answer my phone if I can? Somebody learned that. They called me at 2:00 last night. Somebody had a house fire last night at 2:00. And they weren't happy because how they found out about it is an ambulance chaser called them at 2:00 in the morning. So they called me and asked me, Patty, what should I do? And I said, okay, well, and they said, we have a property management company and they haven't called us yet, just the ambulance chasers. I said, they're probably waiting till 8 a.m. at a more decent hour. I know I would as a manager, but I get it. Your house caught fire. So why don't you call them on the emergency line and see what they tell you to do? If you still need my help, I'm here. So just so you guys know, I'm here. I am 24/7 if I'm available. And if I don't answer, leave me a message. I could be on the phone. I could call you right back. You're not alone, okay? You guys have a wonderful new year. Okay, we all need some hope and some good news. And some of these new laws are actually going to benefit us. Okay, they really are. Even the one that the tenant has to pay for good credit reporting, we're going to end up using that against them in years forward. You watch. Okay? It is going to pave the road for us. You watch. All right, you guys, have a wonderful new year. We all need one, and we'll leave this monstrosity of 2024 behind us. Everybody have a wonderful day. Call me if you need me. Happy New Year, guys. Bye.
Happy New Year. Bye.
New Year.